Hello and welcome to the Growing Green podcast. Your host, Jeremiah Jennings, is the owner of Growing Green Landscapes in Birmingham, Alabama, and has a passion for growing the entrepreneurship community for those who are young in business. Being a business owner isn't easy, especially in the early years, and that's why in this show we dive into a wide range of topics covering all the challenges small business owners deal with. Even if your company is generating $1 million or more, the stories from our great guest and Jeremiah's own firsthand experiences will propel your business forward. And now, here's your host, Jeremiah Jennings.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode today here on the Growing Green podcast. This is your host, Jeremiah Jennings, and I am so excited to be coming to you today with another fresh new episode for you. Hope y'all are doing well today. Hope your Friday started off well. If you're listening real time, then welcome into the show. Welcome into the end of the week. It is a beautiful day when you get to your Friday and you say, man, the weekend is close. Hopefully you're wrapping up a big job today. Maybe you are starting a big job like we are. You never know what's going on out there in the crazy world of landscaping, lawn care. It's a crazy jungle that we live in. It's a wild journey, but it's very rewarding. There's a lot of things that go bad along the way. There's a lot of things that go good along the way. And there's a lot of things in between that just fall through the cracks. But we're just trying to navigate each and every day the same way that you are out there. It's a wild, wild jungle. So welcome into the jungle. Welcome into Friday's show. If you're listening down the road, then hope you're doing well as well. It's one of those things that everyone, it could be listening at different points. I don't know what point in your life you could be listening in, but I hope at some point, whenever it is you are listening, that this will bring you some value, no matter what it is. Here on the show, we want to have fun. We want to have entertaining time. We want to just hang out and be cheerful and lift you up, but at the same time, we want to bring value. And so those shows change. We know you never know what you're going to get here. Some days we have solo shows. Some days we have guest interviews. Some days we have my wife Savannah on to help us and help bring some more value that way, give some more perspective from the ladies' points of view, and some takes on marriage and business together. You know, there's just a lot of different things that we can cover here. We never try to do two episodes that are the same. We just want to have a good time in everything that we do and bring the most value that we can. And that is only possible through you and through you listening and sharing the show and growing the show that way. It is a huge benefit and help to us when you share the show. So thank you for doing that. All you got to do is take a screenshot of your phone when you're listening to it, post an Instagram story and tag us, and that means the world because we get to see who's listening. We get to share it to our audience, and then it just grows when you share it to yours, and then that person, maybe someone down the road gets to see that show that doesn't listen to us, one of your followers, and that brings them in, and then we get to just add them into our community, which is a beautiful thing. We love to see it. We want to be growing the community every single day, one relationship at a time. That's what we say here on the show all the time. So that is a huge way to help us. I just want to start off the show by saying thank you to Brian and Launchpreneur Academy for deciding to partner back up for the fall. Brian has been a huge help to us here at the show. He has been a huge partner of the podcast since the beginning, just about. And what he's doing at Launchpreneur Academy is a huge help to this industry. If you've listened to the show, then you know what Launchpreneur Academy is. Probably, unless you live under a rock. Pretty much if you're in the green industry, you know what Launchpreneur Academy is, and you know who Brian is. Brian's a great guy who's just trying to give back to the community and grow his business and grow his life. And the same way in doing that by helping you. He's helped me. He's helped countless others and countless people that I know personally and a lot of people that I don't know personally. But I know that he's brought a lot of people into this industry and he's helped grow their business, not just through him, but through his resources that he has created through some of his friends and his peers and his network. And that's what happens when you get together. When you get together and you grow your network, then you help other people grow. And so that's what we're trying to do here. That's what Brian's trying to do at Launchpreneur Academy. That is why we are such a good fit to work together. And so we are happy to have Launchpreneur Academy with us in in the fall here, heading into the fall rush and the wintertime, the snow. You guys up north getting snow. And so Launchpreneur Academy is going to be here for a while, just hanging out and sharing everything that they have going on. A lot of new stuff coming down the pipe that we have to talk about. Can't share all of it yet, but it is exciting what's coming. None other than Launchpreneur Academy Live. That is the next thing on the agenda. And so that is November the 11th in Novi, Michigan. You want to be there. You don't want to miss it. It is the live event to be at in the green industry if you're wanting to grow your business for a very, 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 very nominal fee. And so you want to be there. There's hundreds of millions of dollars up on the stage usually, and I don't think that's going to change this year. They had some awesome mastermind groups they started last year. They've already sold out for this year. So if you miss those, well, you got to wait till next year. But that value is there. And so go ahead and book your hotel if you haven't yet. If you haven't signed up, I mean, even if you haven't gotten your tickets yet to the event, go ahead and book your hotel if you know you're going, because those hotels are selling out fast. I think the host hotel sold out the same day, maybe next day, because me and Savannah were going to book our room, and we found out that it was already sold out. So we're staying somewhere else. I don't know where we're staying yet, but we got to get that taken care of. I actually do know where we're staying. I got to book my room as well. So anyway, hope y'all are doing well. Hope Brian has helped you along the way. I think he has, I'm sure, at some point. And so just want to say a huge thank you to him and Launchpreneur Academy for partnering with us here in the fall. And sometimes you say, man, spring rush was crazy, but then you forget about fall rush, guys. You forget how crazy fall gets. It's kind of like a second wind usually. You usually get to the point where it gets crispy, it gets dried in August, July and August, and you're like, man, fall dries up just a little bit because people aren't really wanting to plant. They're not wanting to do sod. The mows are the yards are turning brown and crispy. They're not really green and lush. I haven't really seen that be the case for many people this year. It's been pretty wet all around from what I've seen. It's really like it's been fairly dry here during the summer. So the way we've been getting is we've been doing, we've had a lot of like 2 or 3 4-week periods where it's rain, and then we'll be dry for 2 weeks. And then we'll get one rain shower, and then it'll be dry again for another week, and then we'll get a lot of rain again. And so it's really coming at it's not bad. It's just kind of like we're trying to just work around it as we go. But we're not having a total rain out. We're not having a total drought either. It's kind of the best of both worlds, really. And so we're appreciative to the Lord for that. And so we've been able to stay busy. I know a lot of you have as well because of the rain. And so when it gets dry, business gets a little tough. You have to put your thinking hat on. You have to get creative on how you can cut things, how you can sell more work, how you can keep the guys busy, how you can keep yourself busy. So those are always good learning times and experiences in business. When you go through your first good drought in the summer in lawn care, then you're going to see what your business is made of. You're going to see if you have your business set up the right way, if things are systematized the right way, if you have processes in place, and if you have a good business plan and model overall. Because if you let one drought shut your business down, then that's not a good thing. You've got all your eggs in one basket, and you're going to end up crashing and burning one day eventually, probably, if one drought gets you. Now, that's not to say things don't happen. I'm not saying like a summer drought, like the whole summer's dry. But if you let a month and a half drought, 2-month drought get you, then you probably have some things to work on and change. Now, not to say that's not going to make it tough. If we had 2 months of no mowing for us, it would be tough. I'm not saying it wouldn't, but we would survive. We have some other options. We have some other sources of income that we would be able to keep our guys afloat and move on. And so just make sure you're thinking about those things as you move forward and through life in the business, because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what tomorrow holds. And so you want to be prepared for all things as best you can moving forward. So what do we want to get into today? We're 10 minutes into the show, and we got to decide what we want to get into. Or I got to tell you what we want to get into. This is, if you saw the title, it's pretty obvious what we're going to get into, but it is one of the most important conversations that I've been wanting to have. I just haven't had time to actually sit down and record this show, and I wanted to put a lot of thought and value into it because I know that this could be a very transforming show for a lot of different people out there. And I know it's one that is going to come across as like, I don't want you to make a bad decision. I want you to make informed decisions. I want you to I want you to have a good business plan. I want you to have all your things in place. Now, that's not to say you're not going to have all your ducks in a row in life or in business at all times, but you want to do what you can to be prepared and have a good business plan. So along with having a business plan, you want to have in place when do you buy certain pieces of equipment? When do you make the upgrade? When do you make the investment? Those are all decisions that are not to be made lightly. But at the same time, you can't let your business get hung up on that decision too much. We did a show a couple shows back. I would have to, I wish I could remember. I don't know the title or the name of the show, but it's the title of the name of the show. That's the same thing. I don't remember the title or the episode number of the show. I would have to go find it. Let me see if I can actually scroll back here really, really quickly and find it while we're talking. I just want you to know, like, you can't let one thing. So I know what it says. It was episode 264. You cannot let a dollar sign decide the future of your business. That was a good show where I kind of got into this topic of you can't let a dollar, literally what the title is, you can't let a dollar sign decide the business's future. You have to learn there's going to be risk in business. Or if you don't learn there's risk in business, you're not going to be in business very long. That is what business is. It's taking risk. And so the bigger risk you take, the bigger rewards you get, the bigger you may fall. But that is just part of business. It's part of life. It's part of everything in between. And so you can't let a dollar sign hold up your business. You can't let one decision hold up your business or your life. You have to be able to make decisions on the fly sometimes. Now, that's not to say you don't want to make an educated decision and you don't want to take time and you don't want to research and invest and make the right investment. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying you have to be able to account for these things moving forward. You want to be able to look back and say, I did make a right decision. I did make I did put the right thought processes in place, but I didn't sit there and wait 3 weeks to make a decision or 4 weeks or a month. On certain things. Now, other big purchases, it takes you time. You need to make that decision. You need to discuss with your spouse, whatever it is. I'm just saying you can't wait your whole life to make one decision or a whole season sometimes to make a decision. So we go back to the beginning of this season. If you would have told me I'm in the position now that I'm in, I would have said you're crazy. And when I say the position I'm in, I mean the position, one, financially, and two, equipment-wise. This has been a very, very, very heavy reinvesting year for us, which wasn't really the plan moving in or going into the year. I had actually sold the 2500 that I had last year. We weren't really using it. We weren't putting it to its full potential. It was more of a payment / liability that I needed. There were some things that were going to start breaking on it pretty soon, and I was like, I don't want this. I don't need it. Let's get it out of here. And I had a perfectly good 1500 that's totally paid off. Mine, I own it. We own it. And we were rocking and rolling using that thing on the side for landscaping and estimating. And we had the box truck that we mow out of. Well, we go into the springtime, and we just get inundated with landscape calls. And so I'm estimating, I'm booking, I'm estimating, I'm booking. We're knocking out, we're producing. And I get to the point, I'm like, man, we need a dump trailer like yesterday. Like, this is total lunacy. We're not using a dump trailer. So that's where the reinvesting begins. And so I go buy a dump trailer, and I'll be upfront and honest with you guys. I financed all of this stuff. I'll tell you, like, I'm an open book. It's fine. I'll talk about it. If you want to message me and get my input on it, I'll talk about it there as well. We can go into more detail, but I financed all this stuff. I'm leveraging other people's money to grow my business. And without this stuff, the business would not be where it's at now. I decided to get a dump trailer. So shop around for about a week, and I find one that's in stock. Got a good dealer down the road from me. Let's go check it out. Get everything in order. Pick that thing up within about a week's time, week and a half of when I made the decision. And we just started rocking and rolling. I think I gave, $10,000, $11,000 for that trailer. And I think I pay $200 a month, $220 a month. And we have a functioning, operating dump trailer. Now, that's not to say that we can't pay this machine off or pay this equipment off tomorrow in cash. But why would I deplete $10,000 worth of cash heading into the middle of summer? Like, that just doesn't sound like a good move for me, at least. I can leverage somebody else's money for 5% and make a $220 a month payment, and that trailer generate me 20x that of revenue. And it's like, why would I not make that decision? And so we decided to make that decision and pull the trigger there. Started with the dump trailer. Well, if you've ever pulled a dump trailer with a 1500, it's not the safest thing you've ever done. And so we had the 1500 pulling it. It was already like to the point where I couldn't even go fast because of how slow the thing was. Like, and on top of that, the 1500 that I have is it's not old, it's 2013. So it's 10 years old, but it's in good shape. It's got like 200,000 miles on it, 210,000 miles. It's not bad. I know some of you are like, man, that's high. And some of you that's low. That's just getting broken in. Whatever your take is on that, I don't really have a preference. I mean, all my trucks, all my vehicles up to this point in life have been higher mileage. So that's just what I started my first car with, and it's just been that way ever since. But it works fine, works great, runs well. But it was just like, we're going to blow this thing up. And then there was one day I was going down the road. I was going about 60. The whole truck starts swaying pretty hard because the trailer is just too heavy. There were two instances. I got on a hill, and I think I talked about it on the show one day. We were doing a saw job. I was backing down a super steep driveway to try to get closer. I was backing down. The trailer was too heavy for the truck. Started pulling the truck, slid me, almost jackknifed me sideways. Almost went through the fence. Almost hit the retaining wall on the other side. We ended up getting stuck there. I couldn't get out. I had to unhook from there. Luckily, the customer had a big 2500 Duramax that we were able to hook to, finagle our way out, and not tear anything up, which was a blessing. Such a blessing. But we did that. So when that happened, and then a week later, the truck started wobbling like crazy going down the road, I said, this is it. It's too unsafe. It's not efficient. We're losing money. We're going to end up losing money in the long run. We're going to blow the engine up or we're going to end up wrecking or hurting something on a property. Something's going to happen. And so, you know what that means? That means life just decided to push us into another purchase and another reinvestment. And I didn't make this reinvestment like, oh man, I need a new truck. I need a shiny new truck to go with this dump trailer and make us look official. No, we used what we had at the time and got by. And then it got to the point where this is physically not safe anymore. Like, we don't need to do this. And so we reinvest. We make that decision. It's one that I thought about, prayed about. I looked around. I searched for about 2 or 3 weeks looking for trucks, and I knew what I wanted. I wanted a little bit of nicer truck, not one super nice. I didn't want a crazy premium interior package. I got that on the last truck, and I was like, I just don't need that. It's just not something like, it's one of those things like you want it one time, you get it, and you're like, oh, this is cool, and then you're just fine. You're fine with it 2 weeks later. And so I wanted a decent interior, but I didn't want anything platinum or premium. We did make the jump to a Ford. I've always driven Chevys or GMCs. But the Ford cabs are just unmatched as far as room goes, and this truck is doubling as a work truck and a personal truck. And so, Savannah's little car that she has is a crossover. It's not tiny. It's just a good crossover size car. It's a Ford. It's always ran well for us. It's a Ford Edge. But trust me, you've heard us have the conversation. When you have a kid and you start going places, your life like triples the stuff you take. It's crazy. A human 2 feet tall, you end up taking more bags than you and your wife combined just for that one kid. That is so true. And so we were like filling her car up everywhere we go. Like, it was just, if we go to the beach for 3 days, it just turns into a massive ordeal. And I was like, this is no way to have another kid. Like, Savannah will have a new car in probably a year or two. But it's just like, this is just no way to live. This sucks. And so driving around town, it's compact. I wanted room. And so we decided to go to the Ford because it had a lot of extra room in there. And we made that decision, and we looked and searched and found what I liked, and we pulled the trigger. And we found a Ford F-250, a 2021 with 60,000 miles for a pretty fair price, I believe. And so we financed that puppy, and guess what? We move on with life. And so this is the reason I'm saying this is, like, I started the year with zero debt in the business, like zero debt. We had none. And now we ended up with $90,000 worth of debt. But you're like, so maybe that should be the show title. We are $90,000 in debt. And maybe people listen to the show. But you're getting the gist of what I'm putting down, I hope, is like, I didn't go into this year thinking this is where we're going to be at. Life and business ebbs and flows puts us here. And so we are reinvesting the way that the business is telling us to reinvest. So we reinvested in the truck, and now we're rocking and rolling. We're efficient. Literally the second day after I got the truck, we did a job that would have been impossible to do with any sort of efficiency or normal time. Like, it would have taken us so much longer to do it without the truck because it was up a super steep driveway where we needed to park because all of the job was up there. Like, it's a bunch of pine straw, a bunch of shrub trimming, and we would have had to walk, I don't know, 60 feet down a long driveway, up and down carrying the pine straw, up and down in the wheelbarrow with mulch. Like, it would have been a mess. It would have been a mess because the other trailer could not have backed the dump trailer up the hill when it was loaded. And so this truck, second day, paid off right there. Like, it was totally worth it right there. The first month's payment, worth it. Because we were able to do a job that was 3 times worth the 1 month's payment, and we did it efficiently and effectively. And so, like, literally 2 days after we got it. So we put that thing to work, and then we're just rocking and rolling, knocking out jobs left and right. Man, we got the dump trailer. We can pull it. We're safe. Everything's good. We're loading this thing down. We're dumping. We're moving on with life. We're not sitting there tarping anymore and dragging tarps out. Like, they was just so ridiculous. The thought of not having this thing now is just like crazy to me. But I remember that time. If you're sitting here and like, man, I'm in that position right now. I'm tarping. I'm pulling. I'm my back's killing me because I can't just press a button and dump. Like, I know your pain. I know your feeling. This was me 3 months ago. Like, I totally get it. But there is light at the end of the tunnel if you make the right decisions and you just keep reinvesting and moving forward in your business. But anyway, we're not here to talk about dump trailers and trucks. What we're here for is to talk about our mini skid steer. This is just all a part of the process. So we're rocking, we're rolling, we're knocking out jobs. We keep getting inundated with jobs left and right. And then we get a few jobs right back to back to back that are like, these are going to take some type of equipment on this job. Like, you have to have some type of either a full-size skid or a large mini skid. A little Dingo 427 or 426 or whatever the small ones are, the little walk-behind units you can put a platform on them. Those units from the Home Depot or whatever your rental place is, like, those weren't going to cut it. We had a large, like, 20 pallet saw job that needed an estimate. We had a large landscaping job that a full tear out and restall, like 20 yards of egg rock, like big jobs. A couple big jobs come in. There was no way one of those machines were going to cut it. So I estimate these jobs. We put estimates together. We present them to the customers. There were honestly a couple back and forth with them because they were larger projects, so they want to make sure they're getting their money worth. Want to make sure they're knowing what they're getting. So we go back and forth for a week and a half. Well, they all signed on the dotted line, and with those couple big jobs, there are also filler jobs in between where a machine would just make life easy. And so we made that decision. We and Sven have the conversation. I start doing the research and I make the decision, hey, we got to have one of these. Like, we have to, because here's some reasons. And here we go. I'm going to hop into the conversation real quick. We'll be here another 10 or 15 minutes and we'll move on. You can move on with your day. But I want to bring you some value here, and I want to answer this question maybe for you. The question of, when should I buy my mini skid?
This is your invitation to Lawntrepreneur Academy Live 2023 in Novi, Michigan, Saturday, November 11th. The lineup is power-packed. You won't want to miss it. Learn from incredible speakers like Leroy Maines, Keith Kalfas, Caleb and Brittany Allman, Sam Gimble, Weston Zimmerman, and Jeff Joyner, just to name a few. Tickets are on sale now at the early bird registration price of $197. And hurry, because seating is limited to just 300. Now through August 31st, purchase the whole ball of wax and receive a free ticket to LAL 2023, a $200 value. Once you purchase your ticket, you'll be added to our private Facebook group where you can network with other attendees, get access to the discounted hotel room block, and get the inside scoop for the Friday night party, brought to you by Kohler. Thank you to this year's sponsors, Exmark, Sure Track Trailers, Yard Book, and Boss Snowplow for helping to bring this incredible event to life. We can't wait to see you November 11th, Novi, Michigan, at Lawntrepreneur Academy Live 2023. Get your ticket today at LawnTrepreneurAcademy.com or use the link in the podcast description. Lawntrepreneur Academy Live.
And that's a loaded question. This is not going to be the end-all, be-all to your problems. It's not going to be the answer to your question. You have to look at your situation personally and see how can I, how does this work for me? How can I implement this into my business? Because every situation is different. So what are some reasons to buy your mini skid? Maybe one is one of the beginning thoughts is, well, my rental situation sucks. This was my first thought that went through my head. So we need this skid for these jobs. But my rental situation is terrible. It's absolutely terrible. You have to really know what your rental situation looks like going into these jobs, because it's really everything. If you have to have a piece of equipment and you have 20 pallets of sod getting delivered to a yard, you can't be going to pick up your piece of equipment that morning to move the stuff around and get it to where you need it to get to, and you show up and you can't get the equipment because somebody else has it. Like, that can't happen. You cannot have, that's $6,000 worth of sod that's sitting there. Just sod alone. That will burn up so fast you don't know what happened in this heat, in this summer, in the summer heat, and when it's 100 degrees. So, like, that was my thought process, was our rental situation is terrible. All we have is Home Depot. Not to say their rental situation is bad. Like, Home Depot's not bad. They've been good to us. But they have one, like, full-size mini skid, like a 1000 series. They have one in their whole fleet. And their 427s that they did have, the smaller ones, they had like 4 or 5 of those. They all got stolen in the last year. So they're down to literally one mini skid in their whole fleet. Well, before these bigger jobs came in, we had a couple filler jobs where they were smaller sod jobs, but I still need to be able to move dirt. I need to be able to grade, need to be able to move some sod easier than wheelbarrowing. Well, I pulled up one day, and luckily they had that machine in stock. So I said, boom, rent it for the week, no questions asked. I've got 3 jobs I can knock out in a week with it, and so we're doing it. I've rented it for a week. Guess what that week cost me? That 1 week of renting that machine, $1,000, $1,000, really like $1,200 after taxes. $1,200 to rent a machine that I have no weight in, like none, just $1,200 out the window. Now let me produce $3,000 worth of revenue, $4,000 worth of revenue in that week. Really more than that, probably. I don't remember exactly those jobs, but it was less. It was less than $5,000. But $1,200 out the window. And so that's not to me saying don't spend $1,200 on the rental. You need to do that. You need to price that into your jobs. I'm not saying that at all. But that's like $1,200 that I could be putting in my pocket or putting towards a machine that I'm building equity into and building that asset that I can turn back and sell one day. And so we did that, and I was like, man, like, one, I realized how nice it was. I had it for a week, and I was like, man, this is great. I get to pull it out. It's just on the trailer every day. I get to take off in the mornings, go to the job site, get the job done, come back home. And it's there in the morning when I wake up. So I got that for a week. It was great. And that was my test. Like, I tested it out then. I said, how much will we use this? How much easier does it make life? And so maybe that is your first scenario. Maybe it's like, my rental situation sucks, but I don't know. I don't know if I need it yet. Rent it for a week. When I say that $1,200 was out the window, it was out the window, but it wasn't, because it was a test. It was a test into my future. It was really the best $1,200 that I could have spent, because it made me realize what I needed and why and made me realize I should have had what I didn't have. And that's not me just talking out of emotion. That's me talking out of like true efficient business owner talk here. And so we did that. I had to return it, try to knock out as many jobs as we could. Well, I was like, we have these big ones coming up. I have enough work on the books to pay the machine off in cash if I wanted to at this point. And it's just like, we have to have this thing. Now, again, it's not smart to deplete that cash to me. If you want to hear some more stories on that, go ask a few people in our industry who ran the debt-free model, and they've depleted their cash and spent it on buying little older trucks, trying to fix them up, and they end up upside down in them, and they have trucks that aren't reliable. So go just pay attention to Instagram. Like, that's not my story to tell, but pay attention to Instagram and other people in our industry, and just look at people's stories some days, look at what they're driving, and they'll probably have a story behind it. It's not to say it's not for everybody. It's not to say that being debt-free doesn't work. The goal is to obviously be debt-free. But for me, I need things that are reliable, and I want to be able to go out there and turn a key and it start every single time. That's why we bought a little bit of a newer truck. Now, we didn't buy a 2023. We didn't buy a Platinum, but I bought a 21 with 60,000 miles, because theoretically, that truck should start every time I turn the key for years and years and years to come with not many problems. That dump trailer, I should press a button on the hydraulic lift and it should dump every single time. It's got brand new hydraulic fluid. It's got brand new everything, brand new axles, brand new tires, brand new gates, brand new everything. And I don't know. I don't have to worry about what somebody else did or didn't do. If somebody else didn't grease the hubs, if somebody else didn't grease the tailgate, the doors that open and close in the back, like I know the surface on it. And so from it I know that if something messes up, it's probably my fault because I messed up. I didn't put the effort and things that I needed to. I wasn't diligent in maintenance. So that's my thought process going into this. I could have bought a used mini skid steer. I could have gone. I looked on Facebook for literally like 2 weeks. I saw it every hours a day. Search different areas, 5, 6, 7 hours away from me. All kinds of auction sites. And I found a lot of machines, but they all had 700, 800 hours. They were all $15,000, $16,000. There were the Dingo 1000s, the Bobcat MT100s, all those thousand model machines. And I was like, I don't want to go spend $16,000 on a used machine that I don't know anything about. It's got 800 hours on it. Like, I don't know what that's. I hate that. I hate buying used equipment. I'm not a fan of it. I've just been burned a couple times, and it's like you do that a couple times, you'll realize it may not be the best thing. And so I was like, I don't want to do that. So I started researching newer equipment. I got prices on a couple different pieces of equipment, and then I got prices on the one that I have now, the Iron Rhino out of Georgia, and it's just like they were 3 hours from me. I found this dealer, started looking at their website. They have a lot of great, like a lot of machinery over there. And I was like, shoot, let's give it a shot. And so called him up, talked to him about it, got some more details on it, and we went for it. That machine cost me, so I have a 1000 series. It's essentially the same as the Toro Dingo, the 1000 series there, all the same specifications pretty much. 25 horsepower, diesel in it. It's got everything that I need. It was a big stand-on platform, a big bucket. It's got all the horsepower, all that stuff, everything I needed. It's on tracks. It's not wheeled or anything. Do you even have wheeled mini skids? I don't think that's a thing. Maybe I really don't know. I don't know. I'm still figuring out this whole world. I'm not in the dirt world. I'm not a professional. We were actually on a job yesterday, and I almost slipped a track, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I was not prepared for that. I don't know how to fix that yet. That'll be something I have to figure out as the time comes and when something happens. But a rock got caught up in there, and it took it like, I don't know, a quarter of the way off to the right, and I was able to maneuver the machine to the right and slide the track back on there. But I was like, oh, that was huge crisis averted, because I know that I don't think it's that big of a deal to put a track back on. You just have to like loosen the tensioner thing, I think, maybe. All you guys that have run heavy equipment would know a lot better than me, but maybe shoot me a video or something of you doing it if you ever have to do it one day. I'm sure there's a video on YouTube about it. I could have figured it out, but I just don't know yet because I haven't had it happen. So we learn as we go here. But anyway, still figuring it all out. But I was like, this is what we need. This is what we need. So get on the phone with them, have that conversation, get some financing lined up, boom, go pick it up. And we're in business, man. I'm like, man, this is it. Like, and so this is me talking back, like, this was a very stressful month and a half because all of this happened in a month and a half to 2 months between the dump trailer to the time of the purchase of the mini skid. So you're talking $11,000 for the dump trailer, $45,000, $50,000 for the truck, $30,000 for the mini skid. Literally $95,000 in debt that I'm talking. Man, that's big. That's hard to look at. That's a big number to stomach. I'm like, good night. Here we go. So me and Savannah have the conversations. We have these talks. We talk about where the business is going. What is this? What we want to invest in? Is this how we want to go in the future? We have all these things. We talk through it, and I'm like, man, we have enough work. Like, we have enough work here. We have the consistency. That was part of my dilemma in the beginning of the spring. I was like, this is cool. This is nice. We're getting this work. But I'm like, I can't justify getting a mini skid yet. It just hasn't lasted. We have never had this much work as far as landscape goes. We would usually get a couple jobs a month, but not anything big or crazy. This summer, we have been booked a month out the entirety of the summer. And we still are. Like, we will be booked that into the fall. Still working on estimates. Estimates backed up out the door. And so it's like, it's time. It's time to pull the trigger. And so we did it. And then we start producing, man. We start knocking out jobs. And I'm like, this thing is great. And so some of the reasons to buy, let me run through them really fast, and then we'll talk about how much of a benefit this machine has been to us. You have enough work to justify. That's the big thing, is like you have to know you have enough work. So you rent one for a week, you test it out, you say, how much can I use this? How much can it change my business? Maybe it's moving mulch. Maybe, you never know what it is. But whatever aspect that you're going to be implementing it for your business, you may see if it works for you, see if it's a good decision. So make sure you have enough work, or you're going to have enough work coming in to do that. And so maybe that's just, you find out which way the outlook is looking, and you just make that decision, you pull the trigger if you decide you have enough work. Your rental situation is tough. We already talked about that. Our rental situation was terrible. That was a big contributing factor. This machine saves time like I've never seen before. It saves so much time, like cuts things in half. So I'll talk currently the job that we're tidying up right now. We're finishing up. We got behind because we had a change order and then rain and blah, blah, blah. A half-day job turned into a 2.5-day job. But anyway, excuse me. This job, we had to rip out some shrubs in the front. We had to do some planting. We had to bury a downspout, and we had to lift up a tree. Well, we're out there. This job, if we had to pull all the shrubs up by hand, we would have been out there a solid hour, pickaxing, maybe chaining to the truck. So maybe 30 minutes. 30 to 45 minutes. We could have chained to the truck, pulled in the driveway. We'd have to unhook the dump trailer, pull the truck in the driveway, back up, reverse, hove the chains long enough so we don't get in the yard, mess it up because of the weight of the truck. Back up, reverse, hook up, unhook, all that stuff with the truck. Could have done it. That would have saved our time. That would have saved some labor, but it would have taken a little longer. Or we could have got there with pickaxes and killed ourselves for an hour and a half trying to pull everything out. We had probably, 10 or 12 shrubs to pull out, but they were good-sized shrubs. Or the alternative, you get on this skid steer, you wrap a chain around the bucket, you hook it on there, you pull up to the shrub or to the outside of the bed, you hook the chain around the bush, you back up and you lift up on the bucket, and you rip the bush out in a matter of about 7 seconds with zero effort involved. Zero effort involved. The most effort you have is hooking up the chain around the stem of the bush or the trunk of the bush, whatever you want to call it. So we go through and we do that in minutes, like 10 minutes, the whole bed's ripped out. Boom. Awesome. We're rocking. We're rolling. Go to bury the downspout. Well, guess what? I don't want to pickaxe this thing. We got to extend it about 15 feet. I don't want to use a pickaxe to get this thing 7 inches deep. You get a 4-inch pipe in there to bury the thing and run it out with a good grade and everything like that. I don't want it to do that. Do you? No way. And so guess what? We pull up with the bucket, we pull to the side, and we just start digging a trench. We dig, we pull forward, we pull back, we pull forward, we pull back, and we dig a little trench out. And it takes about 8 minutes on the skid with, guess what? Zero effort. Zero. You press a button, you go up and back, up and back. The most effort you give is hanging on to the machine so you don't get thrown off. All right? And this is all rock. This is all rock. This is tight cookie cutter development. They don't do anything with the yards. They just throw the crap back in there and they lay some sod on it. This one, the tree had big surface roots. Like, it was a mess. Easily would have taken us 45 minutes to do with the pickaxe. Easily. That's 2 guys. And that would have been us, like, going hard, like, cleaning the ditch out by hand, using the pickaxe, breaking rock, sweating. Easy 45 minutes. Dug the trench in about 8. That's not a joke. That's not me. It's not me exaggerating. This is not me trying to sell you on getting a skid steer making a bad financial decision. This is me telling you how transformative it can be. 7 minutes. So total of like actual labor that we're into this thing, we're about 20 minutes in. We've got a trench dug and all the bed ripped out. Just like that with, guess what? Zero effort. And so we get that thing dug. We put the pipe in there. Guess what? Backfill time comes. What do? You pull up across it, you back drag it, and the pipe's filled over. So you fill in the voids up under it with a shovel, get down in there, and then you pull everything on top, you put some new topsoil over it, you grade it out, boom, you're ready to lay sod. And it's just like, my gosh, like we don't have to hand rake it all. We don't have to shovel it all across the yard. Like that's just all we have to do. we need to clean out the beds before we put the mulch in there. We get in there, we clean out all the debris, we dump it in the dump trailer, and we move on with life. And the holes we dug for the plants that we had to put, it was all rock. It was all rock. The only way that this job could have been more efficient is if I had an auger for the skid steer yet. Don't have that. That will be coming. That will be a purchase I do invest in, that attachment, because our ground here is just so bad. And so all of that we took out of the holes, though, had to come out. Couldn't go back in the holes. It was too bad for the plants to live in and survive in. So we always backfill with fresh garden soil. So all of that dirt, you throw it, you pull the machine up, you throw it in the bucket. Guess what? You stand on there, you press a button, you wheel the machine to the dump trailer, and you dump it. And you go back and you get some more. And so we had to lay some sod in the backyard. We throw some sod into the bucket, we pull the machine down the side of the house, and we lay the sod. And then we back the machine out, and we just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. No wheelbarrow was harmed in the making of this job or the making of this content. You see that on Instagram, a lot of these big dirt work guys that are using tilt rotators and things. Like, that's me. I'm not even taking wheelbarrows to jobs anymore because of this. And so these are seriously, these things that I'm telling you would have taken us hours at this point, hours and hours, and it would have taken even longer because our pace would have dropped so drastically because of how tired we would be. And so these are all things you have to consider. This is literally one job that I'm telling you about that's right now. The amount of jobs we've done so far that I couldn't have done. We did a 20 pallet sod job, all of the grading. We brought in 40 yards of dirt with this one machine. Like, all of it. We did it with one machine. And we couldn't have done it without it. Like, the job would not have been able to happen. I could not have done the job. I could have subbed it out, but I would have been paying somebody else $4,000 for all the dirt and prep work. Or I could pay $700 a month for a machine and put that $4,000 in my pocket. How does that sound to you? Sounds pretty good to me. One job. And so I'm leveraging other people's money, paying some interest on it, but I'm bringing in multiples and multiples of that payment while I'm paying into my own machine for myself, building equity in that machine that I'll pay off, that I can pay off early if I would like, or I can keep leveraging until I have good cash reserves, and then we decide to make that decision to pay the thing off over time. But I'm paying into an asset that's going to be mine. It's an asset that I can turn around and sell that's going to hold its value. And it's just like, guys, like, come on, like, think about these things. And so, anyway, I don't know where I was going with that, but that's just one job. And so that's the situation I got put in. It's easier on your body. These are just finish up these points here real fast of reasons to buy. Easier on your body, saved us so much labor. Like I said, just the pickaxe, the trench alone made all the difference in the world. It gives you a little more professional look. And so you shouldn't care about what people think, but at the same time, when you're running a business, you want to look as professional as possible. You don't want to pull up in a beater of a truck if you don't have to. If that's what you're starting with to get by, then that's what you're starting with to get by. But just remember, try to keep it at that and try to invest and get a little nicer as you go, because when you pull up somebody's yard to give them an estimate, if you pull up somebody's yard to give them a $20,000 sod job estimate, they probably want you to look somewhat professional. And so when I pull up to a job, the largest job we've ever done, and to like 20 pallets of sod, I look somewhat professional when I pull up in a 2021 F-250. Now, again, is that the right way? Is that me telling you go finance a truck because to look cool for your customers? Not at all. You find them a truck that works for you. You can grow plenty of businesses. Plenty of guys have grown $1 million companies with old used trucks. That's not me saying this, but it does give you a little bit of advantage in just the fact of, like, you pull up somebody's yard who's about to take out of their savings and retirement to give you some money to redo their landscaping. They probably want to trust the people they're pulling up in. They don't want to they don't want anybody pulling up in a hoopty beater of a truck. And so when I pull up with a dump trailer and a mini skid and all this equipment that looks professional to start the job, it gives that customer some ease. They're like, okay, this guy, like, he's equipped to do the job. And so if you go back and listen to that job, Customer Expectations, if you listen to that episode, we talked about this job, and we weren't on the best page to start. Like, I had to kind of win the customer over once we got started. We just had a couple things that didn't go our way. Customers are raving fans now. We left them with an amazing product. But it's just like, if we would have had all those other things on top of this, if we would have had a crappy machine that's falling apart that made a bunch of weird noises and rackets, and a trailer that looked like it was about to fall apart, and a truck that looked like it was about to fall apart, like they might have been like, I don't know about this. I don't know if you can pull this off. When they were already like, I'm a little hesitant, like these things aren't going right, and we're not very happy, and all that was added on, I don't know how that could have turned out for us. We could have lost that big job. Like, you never know. So I just know that these are things that go into play when you pull up to a job and you pull this machine off and you look professional. Like, that's a benefit. People, like, it gives you a little more trust into your business. Much more professional looking. There is some potential rental income from it. So if you're worried about making that payment, and maybe it's like, man, that's $700, $800 a month, and I don't really know that I have. In some cases, it's $1,000 a month, but it's just like, guys, come on, you can't afford not to, really. Like, that's kind of my take on it now. If you have the work, if you're renting a lot, you can't afford not to own your own machine because of like the logistics. Let's say you do have a good rental yard. The logistics of going and picking up a machine and dropping it off and having it on time and having it refueled and having it cleaned, like, it's an extra hour and a half to 2 hours of work every single day that you're not getting to bill for. You're just not. And it's just like, why? Like, the fact that I get to come home, park my truck and trailer at the end of the day, and I get to walk inside, and guess what? Wake up in the morning, and that machine is sitting right there ready to go. I don't have to go pick it up and take use the trailer they have that they provide and all this stuff. Like, there's no words for it. There are no words for it for how nice and how valuable it has been for our business. And so there is some potential rental income, though. Like, if I get to a point where, man, $800, that's a lot, let me rent it out for 2 days at $300 a day, which is what you pay at Home Depot or any other rental place. I got some friends who want to use it, okay? We'll say $250. We'll cut them a deal because they're friends. $250 a day. You rent it out 3 days a month, and you have your payment right there, $750. Like, 3 days a month. Not 3 days a week. Like, that's a lot. That's hard to do. 3 days out of 30. You just got to rent it out if you want to. So there's a lot of different ways to go about it. For me, we're using it. We haven't used it as a rental yet. We're just using it to produce our own revenue and grow our business that way. We probably will rent it out at some point. I have some friends that don't quite have it. They don't really need to buy a machine. They don't do these jobs all the time, but they need to rent them sometimes. And so I want to be a help to them and also benefit as well, helping our business. And so, and then our last one that I have written down is just like, kind of what I said earlier, we have an asset that we're paying into that we're going to get to sell and make money on one day, hopefully. The equipment right now, the equipment market is crazy. Machines you're getting what you paid for them like years down the road. So even if that doesn't last, that's fine. But we're still going to be able to sell it and get a little bit of money for it at the end of our lifetime using it. So those are some things, guys, like, these are just all things you have to take into consideration. Hopefully this show's been of some value to you. Maybe it's opened your eyes to some areas where you need to kind of look and be like, man, do we need it yet? Do we not need it? Do we need to wait a little longer? Just don't let the dollar sign scare you too much. You just need to put a plan in place to produce revenue. If you can sell and produce, you're going to be okay, most likely. But get around people who are trying to build you up, not tear you down. People who want your best interest in mind. They have your best interest in mind, and so they're going to give you the right advice that they can. This is not me advising you. It's none of that. It's not me telling you to go make a bad financial decision. It's just me telling you what's worked for us, how I've seen it work, how I've seen it change my business, what it's going to do for us in the future. There are no words. There are no words other than it's taken. Oh, I never finished that job that we were on. This will be the last thing we finish up, just to kind of the icing on the cake. We were supposed to delimb this. We were supposed to raise the canopy on this tree. Well, we get there, and the customer says, yeah, my husband wants to cut this thing down. We actually want to cut the whole thing down. This tree's a solid 30 feet tall, like easy 30 feet. Biggest tree we've ever cut. It's in a super tight neighborhood. It goes one way, it goes through the house. It goes another way, it goes through the cars. It's like, man, I'm not a professional tree care person. I'm like, I do not really want to do this, but we'll figure it out. We make a change order, give them a quote, they accept it. So we do this thing. Well, guess what? OSHA hopefully doesn't listen to the show. To me, it's safer. I don't understand why it's not any safer, but this thing, I'm able to stand in the bucket, have my second guy with me, stand on the machine, raise me up in the bucket, and I get a solid 15 foot into the tree. The thing raises, 6 feet. I'm another 6 feet, plus extending my arms, we're another 14 feet. So it's like you're 14 feet up into the tree. We get a lot of our bottom low-lying limbs cut off that tree by standing in the bucket. Like, I'm not hanging off the side of a ladder. I'm not on uneven ground. I'm not going to fall out. Like, I've got a good platform, a solid bucket I can stand on. I can get it to where I'm comfortable standing level-wise. Cut the limbs, let them fall. Cut them up, put them in the dump trailer. And guess what? We don't have to tarp the dump. We don't have to tarp. We just throw it all in there, drive to our dump site, press a button, and it all falls out. We don't have to sit back there and hand unload it all. Like, guys, hours, years of our lives we're saving with this stuff. Mechanize as soon as possible. So we get all of our canopy raised up. We get as high as we can lift on the machine. Well, guess what? Then it's time to cut the tree down, baby. We just do it. And so pull the machine to the other side, and we raise the bucket as high as it'll go, put some tension, put some pressure on the tree, and make my notch in the tree where I want it to fall. And I don't have to stand on the other side with a rope, and I don't have to throw a rope up in the tree. And this is, like I said, you might listen and be like, dude, you're an idiot. I'm just telling you what we do, what worked for us. I put my notch in it. He was on the other side on the machine, had the bucket raised up. He kept constant pressure on it. He pushed on it with the machine, just pushed it right over. Fell perfectly where we needed to land, right in the driveway. Like, boom. No issues at all. Guess what? I cut it all up. I put the forks on the machine. I drive under all the limbs, pick them up on the forks, take it to the trailer, dump it in the trailer. Life goes on. We cut up the trunk of the tree. This is, like I said, 30-foot tree. There's a solid 15 foot of just big chunks of the trunk. Cut those up into 4 different pieces. Drive under with the forks, pick them up, dump it in the trailer. 0 effort required. We talked about this after. I was like, do you realize how long that would have taken us if we had to hand pick up all of those trunks and all of that debris and load it? Hours, because our pace would have dropped so slow. It would have taken us so long because we would have been so tired. Like, these jobs, I've done these jobs for 5 years, doing it by hand. I've cut trees down. I've shoveled mulch. I've done sod. I've moved dirt. And it's just like, guys, you're dead at the end of the day. It sucks. You just come home and you're like, oh, I want to die. Your guys hate you. They hate the job. They grow to resent those type of jobs. And it's just like, now, the most labor I had was cutting the tree down and chopping it up. We didn't have to pick up anything. The guy that was with me stacked all the limbs up in a pile, drove around them with the forks, and just dumped them in the trailer. And so that's just one more story. It's kind of to wrap up that job, just to show you the importance of it for me. It has changed my business for the better. It has. And so we are just blessed to be in this position. We're blessed to be able to do this. It's taken us 5 years to get here. Now, it's not me saying I probably should have had this a year ago, honestly, if I was smart. But remember, I said I didn't have the work. So if you don't have the work, you don't need to go do it. You don't need to go make a bad financial decision. But you never know. What I've seen happen is when you start doing more of these jobs, more and more of them start coming in. And so this machine has allowed that opportunity for us. So now we can even bid jobs that I could have never bid earlier because we didn't have the machine to do them. So that's kind of what I got for you today. 50 minutes in of why you need a mini skid steer, or when is the right time to buy. This is what's worked for us. I hope it's brought you a little bit of value. If it has, share the show. Thanks for listening. It means the world to us. Thanks to Brian for partnering with us here on the show through some of our content that's good, the bad, and the ugly, all of it. But we're happy to have Launchroom Academy aboard going into the fall and to the winter. It really does mean the world that y'all listen. Share the show if you would. Leave us a big 5-star rating and review. If you're going to Equip, use code GG50, save you 50% there. If you need a bookkeeper, the Landscaping Bookkeeper is the place to hit up, guys. I'm telling you, they're on socials now. Search the Landscaping Bookkeeper. I think there's a link in the show notes today. You can go sign up with them because you need a good bookkeeper in your business. When you start getting this stuff, you need to have your assets in here. You need to have all of your stuff in order. You need to make sure your books are in order. It's hard to buy these pieces of equipment if you realize that your books are upside down. if your business is upside down, maybe it's not the right time to buy these pieces of equipment. Maybe it's time you wait a year and you get your books in order. But how are you going to do that if you don't have somebody telling you and showing you along the way, helping you, guide you on what you should be doing? So the Landscaping Bookkeeper, Megan and Joey, the best bookkeepers in the business, 100% hands down. Go check them out today. Tell me you heard about them here on the show, and it would mean a lot to us. So thank you for tuning in. If I can ever help you, reach out, shoot me a DM, shoot me an email, whatever we can do to help. We're here to help. I hope it brings some value to you today. Maybe this is a show where you say, man, that's it. Like, we have all these things going on that you had going on. I should make the decision. Or maybe it's, man, we're close, but we're not there yet. But this is good. This is good. We're going to wait 6 more months, and then we're going to pull the trigger. And so whatever it is for you, implement it into your business, into your life. Make sure it works for you and your situation. It's not the end-all, be-all. It's not one size fits all. It's every business is different. So do what works for you. But this is what's worked for us. I hope it helps you. I hope it brings some value to you. And thank you so much for tuning in. So without any further ado, that is going to wrap this episode up. And we look forward to catching up with everybody here on the next one.
Thanks for tuning in to the Growing Green podcast. It is an honor to have you listening, and we hope you receive valuable advice to help take your business to the next level. Don't forget to follow the podcast so you'll be notified when our next episode drops.